Maayong adlaw, ¿cómo está? This is Ben from Ben and Cebu, coming to you from about Cordoba. So take a good look at this face. You are seeing a full-time bum father who plays on YouTube. So that was actually said to me recently, and I thought that I should probably do a little bit of discussion about that to shed some light on my perspective and how I think that that is just shortchanging yourself out of, you know, the bigger picture in life. So stay tuned. And I want you to get a good look at what a bum looks like in the Philippines. Get a good look? Well, that's me. And now why do I say that I'm a bum in the Philippines? I don't have savings. I don't have a pension. I'm too young for Social Security. All of the money that I had with me before I came here is all gone. And I live frugal, like a local. And to a lot of people that is bummish and irresponsible and shortchanging, you know, my child and my wife from, you know, the good life, right? But this opinion of what is the good life is, you know, in my opinion, kind of contrived and formulated by a machine that it is has designed to convince you that you have to waste your whole life living, you know, in stress and anxiety and biting your nails from paycheck to paycheck, so that you can ultimately retire and be able to afford your golden years. And after, you know, obviously living in the United States and then coming to the Philippines at a younger age and realizing, you know, what life was really more about, and then coming back here again, I know how shortchanged I was living there abroad in the States. So I don't feel like a bum, but to a lot of people, I'm perceived as such because I'm living, you know, on the edge of a cliff that can erode away, you know, with one big misstep or misfortune, and everything would fall apart for me. But what would really be falling apart? I would just have to leave, go back to the rat race, and run around that stupid proverbial hamster wheel that everybody refers to, and re-up and come back. I already know that we are being cheated out of our lives in the West. I already know, and it doesn't take, you know, rocket science to be able to deduce these things. When you piece it all together, if you care to look, when your grandfather was alive and kicking, and he was trying to support his family, he was able to do so, put kids through college, own car, own home, and still have enough to retire on, and not, you know, be dependent on that stipend that the government gives you for what I feel is slavery. You know, you're an indentured servant essentially over there. You got to chase that buck, and you gotta suck it all away when you don't even know how much time you got left. You know, you might not wake up tomorrow. You know, as you grow older, you start to see your friends kind of fall away. They succumb to, you know, an illness or a sudden heart attack or something that just ends their life, right? These things happen all the time, and those people lived their entire life working for someone they didn't want to work for, doing things they didn't want to do, all on the hopes that when they get to a certain point, then they can retire and be comfortable. And that's not a guarantee. There's no guarantee of any of it. So you're ignoring that reality, and as you sacrifice yourself, whereas I am aware of the reality that I could fall apart here in my bummish approach to living here, and so it's not that different. But the thing is the majority of people that are doing the right thing, quote in quotes, don't realize what they are shortchanging themselves out of. They're assuming that what they're doing is so grandiose, and what somebody like me is just a lazy hobo, one step away from, no matter what level you're at, there's always going to be somebody that's going to put you down for your inadequacy. And that's just a guarantee, right? So, like I said in the beginning, take a look at this face right here, and you see a bum in the Philippines. So yeah, this bum right here is teetering on the edge of disaster. He's one step away from failure. And for a lot of people, that's impossible. Here I am, throwing a big fat Hail Mary, hoping that I make this channel, viable to where I can make a few bucks off of it, coupled with, the income that I'm gonna make. Hey, the income that I'm gonna make. Hey, from cut. The Hail Mary pass, which is maybe I'll get monetized again. Maybe I'll start making a few $100 off of this effort that I'm putting in. And when I get the 13A visa, which will enable me to work and have a lot of opportunities. And there are, believe it or not, a lot more opportunities than people think. And do I recommend people replicating what I'm doing? Absolutely not. It takes a certain kind of person that would even have the balls to try. Most people don't. And most people will fail. And the odds are that I'm going to fail too. But there is a chance that, God willing, that I will find my way. The same as there's a chance that I could go back to the States and work for a few years and die before I ever have the ability to live life freely here in the Philippines, There's a big chance of that. So either one, you weigh your pros and cons. Would I rather live in the West, playing, that game, or would I rather live here, where if I have stick-to-itiveness and gumption and passion and drive, that I can make it here. I would rather try. I got the two options, and this option for me, this bummish lifestyle, is what I prefer. And sure, a lot of people will say, and they will, that I'm just lazy. And maybe that's true. But the ultimate decision was made because I had a kid, and I didn't want to leave my kid without the presence of his dad. I feel like I have more here with nothing in accounts and in my pocket and all that. I feel like I have more here than I ever had in the United States when I had a pile of dough in my accounts and a fancy Jeep and everything that I ever would want at any given time. I don't have that here with the ability to just hop on a ferry and go to some tropical tourist destination. But that's never really been something that attracted me. I never really wanted to do that. If I was going to go somewhere, I wanted to go to the woods and set up a tent and smell the fresh air and light a campfire and bring back that kind of primalistic existence that our ancestors used to live in. And that to me is more fun. Going out and sticking my gold pan in a river and digging in the dirt and touching the earth. Those kind of things make me happy. So am I a bum? I guess to a lot of people I am. Am I successful? To me, I measure success on your happiness meter. And I've never been this happy. I've never felt this much contentment, this much fulfillment in my entire life, ever. So call me a bum, call me a loser, tell me I'm lazy. That's fine. So you can use that stupid measuring stick to measure yourself, and that's what people do. They go, well, this guy is not as good as me because he's not doing X, Y, Z, or he doesn't have this or that, or look at those people, waiting for the bus while you're driving by in your fancy SUV, and you get a little elevation from that. You might not want to admit it. You might think you're, so open-minded, and you don't look down or judge people, but you're doing it. You are. We all do, in one way or another. And most of the people come from nothing, yet they'll still look down on those who are still in that nothing realm. I know I'm not going to convince anybody, and I'm not trying to, but I do want people to listen and hear that you shouldn't judge others for what they have or what they don't. You shouldn't. You got to live for yourself, and if living for yourself and socking away that dough in the hopes that you make it to retirement age with, unscathed. If you're fortunate enough to get to that point, then good for you. But don't knock others down who haven't done it your way and are trying something different. There's always going to be somebody who's not going to understand your approach, and it's not going to make sense to them. So what I do doesn't make sense to a lot of people. Sometimes I deem more important. And there have been times in my life where I didn't. I used to have, a $3,000 Gucci watch that I would love to flash around everywhere I went, and in my fully loaded Jeep. And that was status, and I felt good in that because I knew that people would look at me and they would say, wow, look at what that dude's got. And you get a little bit of a boost from that. And don't say that you don't, because you do. I know you do. That's our nature, So you got this measuring stick, and this guy right here talking to me on the camera, he's a freaking bum because he's living in a paltry little Filipino apartment, and he don't have jack. You can make derogatory comments and judgments about someone who is, approaching their life in a complete contrast to yours. And you're gonna die with nothing? We're all gonna die with nothing. You can't take any of this crap with you when you go. And might I remind you that it's easier to fit a camel through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to make it to the kingdom of heaven. And all of your efforts and all of your achievements are going to be meaningless in the end. You may get some accolades, and people will come to your funeral and they'll say, man, what a great dude he was. Look at how successful he was. And oh man, it's so sad that he's gone. And maybe you had a big, huge social life and everything that and all the benefits that come with it. And maybe you were extremely successful in business. But you know what's going to happen to each and every one of us and you? The one who has achieved all those things is they're going to say a bunch of pretty words while you're laying there in your casket. They're going to tell the audience, all these great things you did. And then after it all ends, everybody's going to go back to, the reception, and they're going to start piling on food on a plate. And suddenly they're not going to be talking about you anymore. They're going to be talking about the football game on Saturday or Sunday that's coming up. They're going to be talking about, the vacation that they're going to be going on. And you are slowly going to fade away. And your whole life just becomes a footnote to where, people go, he passed away. But anyhow, So, measure all you want. I may be a bum, but there's definitely ways to look at what the opposite side of me does and critique that to death, which to me is ridiculous. Why do I care what somebody else is doing? I don't, unless they're harming someone or you know, doing, you know, bad things to achieve it. Why would I give a crap? I don't. So you shouldn't be giving a crap about anybody that's, quote, below you, end quote. But I guess we're all going to do that to each other. So yeah, you know, I'm throwing that Hail Mary, hoping that, you know, I can start making a little cash on YouTube again, and that my 13A will glean me, you know, a sufficient income. And I guess that is just too much of a gamble for others. But what they don't realize is their life is probably a bigger gamble. Everything could fall apart in a blink of an eye, wherever you are and whatever you are doing. And you got to just love people, man. You got to love everybody, because everybody matters and everybody has value. Maybe the value has been forgotten by that guy that's sitting under a bridge, or this hobo right here that's sitting in front of a closed business in a garage door in the Philippines. Maybe, you know, that's a paltry existence, but I've never been more happy in my life. So to me, that makes me rich. It makes me successful in my mind. And I don't feel like a hobo or a bum at all. So anyways, man, consider subscribing to my channel. And hey, bro, comment on this video. Tell me what you think. We'd love to hear from you, and get your point across. I don't mind it. You know, a dialogue that we could have can potentially enlighten, and that's what I, you know, that's what I care about. You know, I've always said over the years, and I kind of stole this from a poem, I've got a mind full of questions, but I've got a teacher in my soul. So, and that reigns true. I want to walk away from something, if I can, that I learned from that person and they learned from me. That would be ideal in almost any interaction. So call me a bum, call me a hobo, but I don't wear that moniker, and I never will. So thanks for watching. Have a blessed day.